All right. First rule is ask a lot of questions. I'm not sensitive about anything, right? So, very brief introduction, right? For those of you who don't know me, I'm the handsome home buyer, right? People know it. The name doesn't hold true. I'm not that good looking, obviously, but people remember, which is part of what this conversation is about, right? Obviously, business is a little bit tough right now, right? For all of us, I myself am just trying to liquidate everything as fast as possible so that the market can adjust so that I could buy at a lower number. And I cringe every moment of every day. And especially now, people have all of a sudden just decide that they're going to. We went from 50,000 over ask to the biggest piece of crap that you don't even have to touch to people are lowballing by like 6 figures. I just listed a house for 900 grand and someone just gave me an offer for 800 grand. No. Very different last name. Not you. Definitely not you. But listen, it is what it is, right? This is what we go through. The important thing is, A, you guys are growing, and there are very few companies that are growing, so congratulations to you. It says a lot for what you guys are doing. The cool thing is, like, this is the time where you build a business to totally dominate when you come out of it, right? Nothing lasts forever. Downturns are usually anywhere from, let's say, 18 to 24 months. If you can grow and maintain through that time period, when you start to come out, you guys are going to be light years ahead of everybody else. So what I want to talk about with you guys today is something that I am very good at, right? There's a lot of shit I suck at. This I'm very good at, which is generating a lot of leads for free. Now, recently I'm trying to do marketing and stuff just to test it out, direct mail. Obviously, you see me on TV humping a 2x4. That works sometimes, right? Dancing around. But when I quantify my business at the end of every year, 85-90% of all the business that I do comes through relationships, right? So I was recently interviewing all the top 20 under 40, and the interesting thing about them was all of them get business through relationships, right? But the way they go about building those relationships was very unique to them. I want to go through just a bunch of different principles on how I've done it over the years. I will tell you this. Here's the great part about being able to bring in leads for no money through relationships. It never stops. It costs absolutely no money, right? And when I got into this business, I had absolutely no money, living with my parents. Mom's still doing my laundry up until about 6 months ago. Finally broke away. She's like, listen, that's it. You're never coming back. You're 40. You're not going to be like Uncle Ummi. Get out, right? I'm not doing your laundry. You can't even steal food anymore. But the point is, when you build those relationships, A, it costs you no money, and B, it never stops. Never stops. When those guys are busy, they're generating business for you guys. And it just as long as you nurture those relationships, you will always have a lot of business. And then if you could build other marketing verticals and do different things, you can have a massive amount of business. Real estate's awesome because we get to make a shit ton of money if you do it right. There is a disgusting amount of money in mortgages. I know people that have made millions and millions and millions of dollars in it. You guys have a tremendous opportunity with a great company, with great leadership, right? So take advantage of it. They're willing to invest in you. You have Levy, who's amazing. We worked together for years, and nobody else has that shit. They don't. Use it to your advantage and get creative with a bunch of different strategies that I'm going to talk about with you guys, right? So that's obviously me. If you don't follow me, please follow me. I'd appreciate it. Oh, boy. All right. So let's talk about this for a minute. And forgive me, I just brain dumped a ton of stuff on here. I'm going to reference it for points just so that I don't get too ADD out there, right? It'll kind of center me. But just certain things that I wanted to talk about. I have about 3 slides with just a bunch of brain dump type of stuff, right? So is what you guys are doing working? I talk to realtors all day, every single day. I know the inner workings of the mind of the people that you want to do business with. Realtors, attorneys, other loan officers, right? Agents. Okay, so here's a big thing. My girlfriend's a realtor, right? I was having this conversation with her the other day. Loan officer keeps hitting her up every single day. Hey, I want to have lunch with you. I want to show you my products. Who's used that line? Who reaches out to realtor? Who here reaches out to realtors to try to get their business? Everybody in this room's hand should be up, right? What do you say to the realtor when you call them up and say, I want your business? What do you say? There's no bad answers here, man. You're not on the spot. This is a growing and learning experience.
So I'm better in person, so I just try and get them to some type of meeting like that.
Okay. What do you say?
Lunch, something like that.
Okay. What do you say?
Hey, can we sit down and see how we can help each other out?
Cool. What do you say?
Let's do lunch and give me a deal.
Cool. Okay. Now let's flip this. What do you say?
I have one that I usually use when we work with agents that we already know work with other lenders.
Our bank, we've won a few relationships over by being able to do things that other banks can't. So I'm not asking for your business. I understand you already have a relationship. But if you ever have a deal that comes across your desk, make sure you think about me if there's someone else that can't do it.
So you know what the realtor hears when they hear all those things? Wah, 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 wah. Nobody cares.
Fair enough.
Nobody cares. I love you, bro. You know I love you. No, realtors don't care about that. They don't want to hear it because you know what? You're not doing anything for them, right? You want to be rich? Everybody here want to be rich? Yeah. Every hand should be in this rough, right? Start thinking about ways you can make other people rich. Easy, simple, all right? How much business are you doing? Right? We don't have to go through a set how much business you're doing, but how much business are you doing? Think about this, right? How much business do you want to be doing? Break it out. I want to flip 100 houses a year. Great. What am I doing tomorrow? What am I doing next week? What am I doing next month, right? What am I doing the first half of the year? What are the steps that get me there, right? If you don't have a goal and you don't have a plan, nothing's going to happen, man. It's just a bullshit number pie in the sky, right? Business planning. I didn't put it on here. I hate that shit, bro. I barely got out of high school. Seriously. Major problem. You have to write it down. What is your plan? What is your strategy? Break it out. What's your goal? How are you going to get there? When you sit there and do these things, and I can do another presentation if you guys want next month or next week or next year, whatever you guys want to do, on how to put together a business plan to basically say, okay, what's my goal going to be and how am I going to get there? And what are all the parts associated with getting there? This way you guys can all collectively build that out as a team. Nobody does this stuff, bro. This is the cool part about doing this, because it's so easy to dominate and make a ton of money and do a lot of business because your competition sucks. They do. My competition sucks. Most people's competition is lazy and sucks. So here's the thing. Everything I'm going to teach you isn't going to cost you any money. You're going to have to work really hard. Is everybody cool with that? And you don't have to be, bro. You don't have to be. If you guys do all this stuff and you bust your ass, I guarantee you'll do a ton of business through the recession, and when you come out of the recession, you will destroy it. But you have to be willing to do this. Some of this stuff is uncomfortable. Let me tell you, Levy, how many, and even Greg too on this at this point, right? How many realtor podcasts have you guys struggled through?
Way too many.
Right?
Too many.
Crazy. Greg?
Too many.
Yes. I catch Greg nodding out, right? Mid podcast. Listen, some of this stuff isn't fun, but you have to understand what you're doing, the value that you're giving, right? So accountability. You guys should be accountable to each other. There should be boards on the walls, in your own offices, in your phones. Hey, everybody has a goal. It's the beginning of the month. You're going to do 5 deals this month. You're going to do 2 deals this month. You're going to do 20 deals this month. And everyone's going to be like, yo, what's the deal? Everyone smashes a gong when somebody brings in a deal, right? But at the end of the month, everyone's looking, how does everybody match up, right? Healthy competition. Nothing wrong with that. And last but not least, in regards to that, if you're not doing the business, it's your fault. It's not Sal's fault. Sure as hell ain't Frank's fault, because Frank's fucking brilliant. He's the man, right? It's not Cardinal's fault. It's your fault. Realtors do this all the time. How many people you know realtors that jump from brokerage to brokerage, right?
Dump jumping.
Because they think that that the problem is in the broker. Now listen, most brokers suck, right? Most brokers in any business suck. You guys are very lucky. You have great people. And I'm not just saying that because we're friends. I'm saying that because I know everybody in this business. They do a great job. They care about you guys and they invest in you guys, right? But agents jump from place to place because they think it's the broker that is the issue. And when they get to a new broker, it's going to be different. It's not. It's the same shit. Brian Karp sells 200 houses a year, whether he works for Bubba Realty, Remax, Coach. It doesn't matter. It's the person, right? So in true fashion, this is a mind dump. This is just a bunch of bullet points that I'm going to riff on. Feel free to stop me at any time, question me, disagree with me. It's all good, right? So social media is huge. Brief background on my social media story. I started working with Matt, our visual, 1.5 a day a week. I hired Levy. We scaled the team, right? Social media transformed my life. Before I walked in this room, does everybody know who I am?
Yes, sir.
Right? That doesn't make me special. That just means that I am literally in front of you all of the time. That is what it is. I go to gas stations and people take selfies of me like I'm a famous person. No bullshit. I was walking down the street and some guy's like, oh, handsome, boom, shakes my hand. Just because I've been on social media, TV, whatever. And if you hire a camera person or you pull out your phone, you could do the same thing. There's nothing uniquely different or special about me in that respect, right? But you need to have a plan. And again, you have Levy. I want you guys to understand, Levy is brilliant at what he does. He's creative. He understands the strategy. We had a large team together at one point. He gets it. He's seen it all, right? If you guys don't utilize him as a resource, you're only cheating yourselves. So talk to him, make time to sit with him, come up with a strategy on how you're going to grow your social media. You have to be on all platforms, period. End of story. Every single platform. I don't care if you don't like to dance on TikTok. I don't care. I don't care. Like, listen, I have 150 followers on Twitter. I suck at the Twitter thing. I can't get it to work. I still tweet multiple times every day, even though nobody is listening to me. But the one time when the one person who needs to listen to me listens and something big happens, it's going to be worth 5 years of tweeting to air. Right? It's like you ever DM a girl on Instagram, you keep DMing her for like 3 years, you're talking to yourself, she never responds. Maybe one day she does, right? Bam, that was worth it, right? Volume, right? So my team and I, Greg, Scott, we put out 3 unique posts a day. So across every different platform except YouTube, we put out 3 pieces of content a day. Now, you don't necessarily have to do it at the beginning, but it's something to strive for. Like people say to me, Charles, I'm tired of seeing you, man. It's too much. I don't even listen to your shit anymore. I'm like, I don't care. You don't need to listen to me. The only thing you need to do is see my face when you get a house that smells like cat piss and somebody wants to buy it. In the same way that they don't have to be watching your videos, but they have to see your face when they have a client that needs a loan or a deal just fell apart and is shaky and Contour or whoever else can't get it done. You with me? You have to be there. Everybody's attention is on their phone all the time. Your attention is on their phone all the time. If you're not there at that exact moment where somebody needs you, you're not going to get the deal. It's that simple, right? So you want to try and cater the content to the specific platform. Now, these are kind of advanced. Don't freak out. Don't get overwhelmed, right? This is stuff that you'll develop with Levy and the team that you guys are going to build over time. This is just stuff to, and this is stuff, listen, I struggle with this stuff. It's hard to shoot. I've been yelled at by everybody, hey, it's time to shoot. You have to come up with ideas. It's not easy, but it works. It really, really, really works, okay? This is the most, if I had to suggest one thing for you that will change your life in business, it's podcasting. Podcasting is the most selfish act, yet nobody realizes it, in marketing today. Podcasting is so amazing. All right, so let's replay that same thing. Let's go have lunch, send me a deal, right? Hey, listen, I see you're a realtor. You know, market's a little bit tough right now. I'd love to hear about your story. Hey, listen, I have this podcast. I do a podcast every day, and I do it on Zoom or StreamYard or something like that that's cheap or free. I would love to hear about your story and be able to get you some exposure. What do you think? Would you mind doing that? Can you do it later on today or tomorrow? Can you do it next week? Bro, nobody says no to that shit, ever. I've podcasted with people who didn't know me, would have never talked to me before, because nobody turns down a podcast because A, you're selflessly giving them exposure. A podcast is the greatest thing in the world. Now, my girlfriend having the same conversation in the car, and she's like, this guy keeps bothering me. I don't want to hear about his products. I don't need to get lunch. I said, let me ask you this question. What if he hit you up and said, hey, listen, I'm doing this podcast. I'd love to hear your story. I'd love to talk about how you got into real estate and everything. Would you go on it? She goes, yeah, of course. There is not a realtor or person in this world, 99.9% of times, who is not going to say yes to a podcast. So what happens? Now you have an intimate relationship with that person. I'll give you an example. Anybody know who Beechwood Homes is, right? Beechwood, build big developments. So Stephen Dubb is the son of the creator of Beechwood. Really handsome guy, looks like a Kennedy. I wanted to meet him. Yeah, I literally told him. He came in, I sat down, I said, bro, you're the most handsome man in real estate, and if I was a woman, I would jump over this counter to get a piece of you, sir.
Is that before you had the red high heels on the other night?
No, the high heels were way after. I was already out of the closet at that point. So I got to meet him. Listen, great guy, wealth of knowledge, ton of resources. When anything happens in the market and I want to talk to him about it, I can pick up the phone and call Stephen Dubb. I can pick up the phone and call.
Calls me every day.
I do call him every day. I had him on my podcast. Now he has to, right? Podcasts are amazing. A, you give people exposure. B, you get to have this intimate one-on-one kind of thing. C, you get content that you can chop up and repurpose. You have the long-form video, and they're going to share it all over their platforms. So you get to build a relationship with someone that you really want to, that would never talk to you otherwise. And they're going to share you and be happy about it and build a relationship with you. And you're going to have content that you could share with other people so other people could see you. There's no downside. This is what I would do if I was you guys, because here's the deal. This is how you get business. The more people that know you and like you, the more business you're going to do. It's that simple. The dilemma is, how do you get the most people to like you as fast as humanly possible? This is what I would do if I was you, first thing out of the gate. I would get StreamYard or Zoom. StreamYard is an online platform. It's like $200 for the entire year. And I would literally do a 20-minute podcast a day. Every single day, 5 days a week, with a different realtor. At every week on Friday, I would call up 5 realtors. I would say, yo, would you want to be on my podcast? Set them up. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Do that. Right? There's 252 is 100. That's 260 podcasts a year. That's 268. How many people build lasting relationships with 260 realtors a year? Not anybody in this room. I've done like 200 plus podcasts, right? 200 podcasts, something about that, right, Scott? We're almost there? 170, one something. Changed my life. Everybody tomorrow, Levy's going to hate me for this because he's like, fuck, now I got to edit all these things, right? Everybody in this room tomorrow needs to go get StreamYard. You can get one for the whole office, actually. Just need one. And everybody in this room needs to do a podcast a day with a realtor 5 days a week. I guarantee you your business will explode. Does that make sense to everybody? Absolutely. Right? Makes perfect sense. These are the people that drive business, and it's not about they want to get paid. It's not about lunches. It's not about any of that crap. All you're doing is selflessly giving them notoriety and a platform to share their story. At the same time, you're getting the relationship, you're getting the content, you're getting everything. It's massive. I cannot stress this enough. This will change your life. This is how I met all the biggest realtors. You know, the Beth Lowe's, the Brian Karps, the Franks of the world, right? That's what I do. And sometimes, Frank, how long did I have to chase you to do it?
It was a little while.
Be relentless, because you're not that creepy guy or girl if you're chasing somebody to be on your podcast. If they say no, it's only because they have insecurities associated with being in the public eye.
I just didn't know how 2 handsome guys on camera would really work out, so I waited.
This doesn't apply to you. That part doesn't apply to you. But the thing is, once you get them through that barrier, right, they appreciate you even more because you got them out of their comfort zone. A lot of people end up starting podcasts as a result. I mean, listen, I will say this humbly. A lot of the people that are in the podcast scene now have podcasts because I have a podcast. I brought them on the podcast, and I told them that they need to have a podcast. It has literally changed the whole dynamic of the real estate world, right?
Absolutely.
Fucking A. Very, very important, okay? So again, don't get overwhelmed. Just start somewhere. Say, all right, listen, here are all the platforms. Which ones? We want to open accounts on all of them. We want to start creating content. We're going to do 1 post a day, and then gradually you start to scale up. The thing is, I mean, just look at Sal in the last, how long? What, 3 months, 6 months?
Since when?
Since you started creating content.
Yeah.
3 months less, yeah.
2 weeks before August.
Right? So what has that done? You know, tell everybody really what has that, I don't know if you've ever talked about this with them. What has that done for you and your business in a short period of time?
I mean, obviously, it's helped me stay level with the business that I've always done between 3 and 5 million a month in a market where everything else is declining, right? There's literally no refinance business at all, so it's all coming from realtors, right?
Sorry, dude.
And it's, you know, when we first started, me and Frank used to joke around because Frank's like, you know, business isn't always going to just fall out of the sky. Like, you got to come up with a plan. We literally say this, and I'm like, yeah, it's falling out of the sky right now, so it's going to fall out of the sky. If I kept that mentality into, or you know, August, September, or whatever it was, June, July, like we'd be totally dead, or I would. So it was, you know, we went from 50 to 60 views on our old content to, you know, 10,000 to 15,000 views on Reels when we threw the party. It's a karate thing after 7.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, they didn't tell us that.
and here's the thing, right?
Are you teaching the class macho?
And here's the thing, right? How many people here know loan officers that are creating content at scale?
Yeah.
Sal.
Who?
Sal.
Who else?
Eric Braun.
Who else?
Brian Riddle.
Weinraub just mock Sal stuff, so not really.
All right, so how many loan officers are on Long Island?
No.
There's 2 loan officers, and one of them's in this room creating content, and one of them just started 3 months ago. What does that mean?
Well, I was going to piggyback. I didn't know who Sal was until he started making his videos.
Yeah, real talk.
And then we got to know each other. I liked what he was doing. And, like, now we've been talking, I don't know, We're like BFFs now, right?
Yeah. Well, I only answer the phone for friends after 9.
But I didn't know who he was. I didn't know who he was literally a month ago.
And I can tell you that, it's a half a joke, but it is serious that people that don't know Sal intimately or haven't done business with him now at least think he knows what he's doing, right? Or
perception is reality, right? Perception is reality.
It's the truth.
Yeah, I'm sitting at the bar the other night having dinner by myself, and a guy comes up to me and goes, "Oh my God, it's you," takes a picture with me and his wife. And then the people next to him are like, "Are you somebody?" I'm like, no, I'm not. Like, I'm not. Like, I'm a guy who literally humped a 2x4 and rolled around in garbage with my shirt off because Greg told me to do it in the Valentine's Day video. And that's it. That's all it really takes, right? So, podcast, vital.
You also start to learn that you know more than you think you do, right? So, and I think anybody that's been on podcasts or, starting to put themselves out there, at first you feel insecure, like, what do I have to offer the world, right? I'm just some schmuck. But the more you start talking,
everybody else is.
Bro.
Everybody else is so much dumber than you think. And you'll start to get that momentum. And then if you have guys like Charles and Lou on the podcast, or you start speaking to different agents, you start to pick up a little bit from all them, and then you start to actually know what you're talking about, and then you could really start making headway.
I will be on anyone's podcast who asks me. If anybody in this room wants me to be the first person on the podcast, I'll be on the podcast.
So you guys do a podcast with Charles, you put it on yours, he puts it on his. You go onto his Instagram and you see who likes the podcast, who's a realtor, and then reach out to that realtor. Now the realtor already knows what you look like. Do it in a week or do it in 5 days, and then it's just a coincidence, but they've already seen you in the past 5 days. So you're in their memory.
Yeah, real quick, tell the Michelle Keegan story.
So, Michelle Keegan, I originally, we ran into her, you talking about at dinner? Like just a split second at dinner. Way
before the party, right? She saw you on social.
4% down. Our offer was 3.5% down, FHA, and Michelle Keegan was the listing agent, and this was on John's, and it was 3.5% down, FHA, and she called me and she was like, "Your buyers are $5,000 higher than my conventional 20% down buyers," and she said there's no worldly scenario where I would ever tell my clients to take an FHA offer instead of a conventional offer. But I had dinner with Charles, and he told me that if you said it'll close, it'll close. Right?
Bro.
Same thing with Sagos, with
That's it.
with Sal, with a good friend of Charles's. He's got a $1 million house in Patchogue, a 3-family, 4-family fucking disaster with permit issues and the whole 9. And here comes Joe Maring's 3.5% down FHA buyer with $35,000 in the bank, and they passed up on a cash offer for an extra $15,000 on a 4-family FHA deal that we ended up closing.
And Sal still owes his first Patchogue.
Right, and I mean, we lost money on it, but we closed it. I said I would close it, I closed it.
And that's like, that relationship power, the power of that relationship is massive. Beth Lowe calls me last week and says, I have a buyer. The buyer is $10,000 less than the offer I currently have, but because it's Beth Lowe and I know it's going to freaking close, there's just no question. Like, you guys can develop those relationships with people, and the business just comes, right? All right, so tell everyone, this is like a really big thing, right? Every time I meet somebody, and a lot of this stuff seems simple, but I think when you guys hear it, you'll be like, oh. Every time I meet somebody, I introduce myself to them, and I tell them what I do. I think you guys would be shocked, and girls would be shocked, about how many people you know in your daily life that have absolutely no idea that you do mortgages. So every person you meet, you need to talk to them and say, hey, I'm so-and-so, I do mortgages, I work for Cardinal, blah, blah. Not in like a try-hard pushing your mortgage brand, but just so that they understand. Tell them about your goals, your dreams. Hey, my name's Charles. I flip 100 houses a year. I'm going to own a private equity fund. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that, right? And then I want you to ask them about their life, who they are, what are their dreams, what do they want to do, what do they do now? Do they hate it? If they hate it, what do they wish that they were doing? And then think about ways that you can help them achieve their goals and their dreams. Think about people in your network that you can link them together to try to help them, right? Selflessly give value to people while wanting nothing in return. When you ask them what they want, their hopes, their dreams, what they want to do, and it could be anything, actually give a shit. The key is to really give a shit, not just to listen and be like, whatever. To actually give a shit, make a mental note of it, and then try to help them. You doing something like that for somebody, even as minute as it is, will change your relationship, will change their life, will change your life in a way that you didn't even realize, okay? And again, the more people you know, the more business you're going to do. It's that simple. Just to like touch on the top 20 under 40 people for a second. Very interesting. Justin, Lou's son, was on there, and he gets a lot of business through the charity work that he does. So he does a lot of work for charity. raises money for charity, and he meets a lot of people and does a lot of business. There's a girl, Denise, she does a lot of open houses. And because of open houses, she gets a lot of business. Someone does cold calling. Everybody has their own unique way that they go about meeting people. But when you go and meet people, you get more business. It's that simple, all right? So create interesting programs that highlight agents, lawyers. Okay, here again, right? You have Levy. Levy's here. Sal and Frank pay for Levy. He's here to help you. Levy and I, Greg and I, Scott and I, we have invented all kinds of crazy things that highlight realtors. The Elite Agent. Anybody ever see that show, The Elite Agent? I made this thing called The Elite Agent, right? It was 5 minutes where I would go in the street with someone that I would consider to be an elite agent, and I would dance, and I would make them dance across the street till we met in the middle, right? And then we would talk about them in front of a listing that they had, and they're the elite agent. We put it out. They get tagged in it. I mean, people go nuts over that, man. That's the kind of stuff. Think about ways and creative programs and things that you guys can come up with that Levy can shoot and highlight people that you want to do business with. It works. Selflessly give value. Give people the attention that they want. People love to talk about themselves. They love attention, right? Give it to them. You give it to them, you have their business for life. It's that easy. It doesn't matter what dinners are being paid for and lunches and bullshit. That's what it is, right? Become the mayor or the mayoress. This is a new concept I came up with today. It works for realtors. Again, I've been pitching it to my girlfriend, but she fights with me because that's what she does. She fights with me. Why do you guys do that? Right? Why? Never? Never. I don't believe you. She's sweet too, but she fights with me. So this is what I said to her. So I said this to her, and no one's ever done it as a loan officer before. So I'd be curious to see if it works. I guarantee it will work because this shit works. But I said to her, I said, listen, you should be Mrs. Lindenhurst. She's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, you should be the mayoress of Lindenhurst. I'm like, this is what you're going to do. So we look up all the stats. And you guys can do this too for loan officers, I'm sure. I might be talking out of my ass, but am I not? Okay. So Lindenhurst has 16,000 houses available to be sold. The top realtor did 7 deals last year in Lindenhurst. And the average sale price in Lindenhurst is like $550,000, which is great, right? For you guys especially. Prime FHA market, you can make money on those deals. There's turnover, there's a lot of product, right? So I'm just what you're gonna do. You're gonna become the mayoress of Lindenhurst. Like you're gonna podcast or do some kind of show with a different business owner every single week. You're gonna do multiple podcasts with people. You're gonna be everywhere. You're gonna immerse yourself in that community that people can't go anywhere without knowing who you are. And as soon as you do more than 7 transactions in a year in that market, you're gonna be able to say that you're the #1 agent in Lindenhurst. And then you just go and replicate the model town by town by town. That's what you do. And so she says to me, I don't want to just sell houses in Lindenhurst. I'm like, first of all, selling 50 houses in Lindenhurst at $500,000 a pop isn't a bad life. But people in Lindenhurst just don't stay in Lindenhurst, and they know people that live outside of Lindenhurst. So you're going to end up getting deals all over the place as a result of just being known in this one market and then kind of conquering the surrounding market. So that's something interesting that I feel like even as loan officers, you guys could do. Can you look up in Lindenhurst who does most closed loans? How cool would it be to be able to advertise and say, #1 loan officer in Patchogue?
And then
Sure, there's
non-disputed because
about
the facts are
seven
right
loan
there.
officers that already have that advertised.
Yeah.
Well, I was just saying, but you could back it up with the facts then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
#1 highest volume transactions, highest dollar amount, whatever it ends up being. How powerful is that? Everybody wants to work with the best. You want to work with the best? You want to work with the best? Everybody wants to work with the best. It's that simple. I'm just going to keep touching this thing so that it doesn't do. Lawn signs, right? And I'll have Sal touch on this. Everybody's like, Charles, you're retarded. Why do you do this? If you go to one of my houses, it's obnoxious. There's like 14 friggin' signs on every lawn. Captain Permit's here, Handsome Home Buyers here, Sal's here, the realtor sign is there. Everyone's signs are all over. It's chaos, right? But people call me all the time off that, either specifically off the sign, or they're like, hey, first I saw you on social media, then I saw you humping a 2x4 on TV, then I was walking my dog and I saw the sign, so I figured I would call you. So a value prop, and that's really cheap. It's like $30 to put a sign. You have the sign made, $30. Even a value prop when dealing with realtors is like, hey, listen, I know you have to pay to put your sign up. If you don't mind, I'll put my sign up with you. I'll pay for your sign. Which again is like a selfish thing because, hey, all right, good. It cost you $30 for yours and $30 for them. But now they're like kind of tied to you, right? You can segue that into like a relationship with them, open houses with them, all that stuff. But your face is going to be on this lawn for everybody that walks by and everybody that works at the open house, whether it be realtor, buyer, seller, for like the next 3 to 12 months. How powerful is that? Sal, how's it worked for you?
It's been working great. And the signs that, like I was just thinking about this the other day, the signs that my name is on are obviously for flips, right? So it's totally different than being on the lawn of a house that's actually being sold. But that could be a serious way in to, someone's going to call the realtor sign or they might call the lender sign. Your job is obviously going to be to get it to the realtor, but now you have a crack at a pre-approval. Just having your face and your name everywhere. I mean, I get text messages on Instagram all the time with, a picture of someone walking by the sign. I show Jan all the time. Just to have your name out there.
Who are the connectors, right? I want you guys to be smart about this. Think about who the connectors are. Really quick story. 5 years ago, I'm in real estate, top 20 under 40. I see Beth Lowe. Everybody knows who Beth Lowe is? Right. So, former YPM president, she's like the queen of real estate. So, I see that she won top 20 under 40. I'm like, who is this? So what I do is, and this is what I do with everybody, I recommend everybody do it. You go out, you meet people, you see people online, and then you friend request them on every social media platform, and then you weave your way into their life in a non-creepy way. Right? Yeah. Yeah. Don't roll around out of shape and shirtless. I'm in much better shape now. Different ball game. It's a different day and age. You don't want to see me shirtless in the garbage now. And you weave your way into their life in a non-creepy way. And everybody, like, social media is an extension of, who you are. So if people keep seeing you and you comment on things and whatever, not in a try-hard way, you don't want to be creepy, non-creepy, specifically non-creepy, it's going to help. And sure enough, I weave my way into her life in a non-creepy way. We met for coffee. We talked about online dating because at the time I was an online dating savage. And now we're very close friends and we do a ton of business together and she's given me a ton of opportunities and YPN, #1 sponsor and LIBOR and all this stuff. And, connections with her allowed me to boost Captain Permit where Captain Permit was profitable in 30 days out of the gate and was making money. These types of relationships work. They really, really, really work. So think about who the connectors are, right? Think about who are the people that have the ability to connect you to the largest audience possible in the fastest amount of time possible, okay? Am I rambling too much or is this valuable shit? I'm not sensitive. All right, cool. All right, pitch investors to screen their deals. I'm telling you this from the standpoint of if you're an investor with half a brain, you need one of you guys. You need Sal. Sal has saved me a lot of time and a lot of money to the point where I give people a discount to use Sal because I know it's going to save me probably 2 to 3 times that amount in the long term. Every single investor, and this is free. Every single investor should have one of you guys. You guys should have multiple investors that you work with. You should be screening every single one of their deals. You should be in their open houses. You should be paying for signs if you have to, whatever it is. Because every one of those is an opportunity. Like Sal's gotten a whole bunch of loans off of that where I'm just like, hey, when the market's hot, I'm like, if you're not using Sal, we're not doing this deal. Boom. Other ones, Sal has to talk to everybody. The loan officer, the buyer, like whatever it is, whoever we can get him to talk to, ultimately it converts. Even if it converts 25%, I do 70, 80, 90, 100 houses a year. Think about that. Sal picks up 10 clients that way, just that way, right? And it costs the investor nothing. And for me, it's super valuable because I know that if Sal starts talking to me, I'm like, Sal, listen, I don't need you to talk to me. I just need you to tell me, is it going to work or is it not? If it's going to work, great. If it's not, then no. That's it. That's all I need. You want to be those people for the biggest investors out there, right? Or even the smallest investors. Doesn't matter. As many investors as humanly possible, you want to screen every deal. Because check this out. Guess what also happens when you screen the deals? You get to talk to the realtor. So now you get to talk to another realtor who gets to know you. If you get the loan and do a great job, that realtor's gonna be like, wow, Sal closes every deal in like 26 days, which is insane, right? Michelle Keegan's taking deals because Sal's closing them. You see where it's starting to, you see where I'm going with this? Do you see how this like starts to steamroll?
How many realtors are you working with now from realtors that, 2 deals that Charles sent to us, right? And the buyers weren't qualified, but now we're working with them to get them qualified. and the realtors are sending them the business. And they speak Spanish, so it's a little bit it's harder for anyone else to do those, but it's the same concept. So you have a realtor that their client puts in an offer on Charles's house, and you come back and say, listen, I hate to break this to you. I don't know how long you've been working with these clients, but these clients are no good, right? And if you have any other clients that you're not sure about, you can send them to me too, and I'll double check it.
So,
you have their business.
so listen, and here's the pitch, right? Or you can come up with any pitch you want, but like, I'm not a big deal, but I'm a big deal, right? People in this space know who I am. And there's a certain amount of weight that gets carried with that, even though, like, again, who am I? But if you say to an investor, hey, listen, I don't know if you currently are working with somebody. We exclusively screen all of Charles the Handsome Home Buyer's deals. We represent him. We have somebody in every open house, and we screen every single deal because he found that he was losing a ton of money and deals were falling apart because the LOs that he was taking offers from LOs that were full of shit, and there were buyers that weren't, able to freaking purchase a sandwich, let alone a house. But as a result of us screening all of his deals at no charge, he doesn't have those problems anymore. And the guy does 50, 60, 70, 80, 100 plus houses a year. That's important. And no investor that understands anything is going to turn that down, right? Especially after you have them on your podcast, right? It's going to work. You get in front of more people, more opportunities, more at-bats, right? It's like you guys should be doing $100,000 loans and $100 million loans and everything in between until you're at max capacity. Do every single deal. It's the same type of thing. Work with every single person until you're maxed out. All right? So networking events, open houses. I know you guys don't like to do open houses, right? Nobody really likes to do open houses. Open houses are an opportunity to meet people. You're going to meet agents coming in the door. You're going to meet people. Again, I use my girlfriend as an example. She just did an open house this past weekend. She got 4 buyers off that. Oh, you're getting a lead off that. Yeah. But she got 4 buyers. So she's double ending the deal. Right? She got the buyer and the seller on that deal. She picked up a buyer seller that have to buy. Now listen, there's sometimes she goes and nobody even comes in, or it's a bust. But she picked up 4 people in one open house. You guys should be, listen, if you really want to bust your ass and work, and you're young and you have the ability and time to do that and the energy, you should be in open houses every weekend. I mean, you want to be crazy? Like, I was fucking crazy. I was in every networking event there was. I would be at 2 open houses every freaking day, every Saturday, every Sunday. Meeting realtors, helping, schmoozing, walking around, doing whatever. Meeting every agent, handing out cards, getting people on your goddamn podcast. Right? This shit works. But talk to as many people as possible. Networking events. Networking events are the greatest thing ever. I haven't really seen most of you guys at the realtor networking events. There's only like a few of you that I have seen. I have not seen most of you guys. Every one of you guys should be. When I really had no money and I started this, I was going to like 3 networking events a week, 4 networking events a week. This is pre-COVID, so it's not as active as it is, but you guys should be in networking events like every freaking day. Who here is under the age of 32? Yeah, you guys should definitely be everywhere. You're young as hell. You have a ton of energy, right? No real responsibility, most likely. Kids, marriage. Yeah, fuck yeah, dude. Right? That guy with the good hair in the back, same thing. It's good. It's good hair. It's good. So, strong line. Hasn't moved yet. Enjoy that. Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, I think your dad has the same hair. Yeah. I can tell. You're one of those. You guys should be at networking events every single week. Both realtor related, not realtor related. Like, we're here tonight. Yeah, I didn't realize that the YPN thing was going on. But like, if I wasn't here, everybody should be in that YPN thing. Hanging out, talking to realtors, asking them what?
Come on, podcast.
Do you want to be on my freaking podcast? Hang out with realtors. Hang out with regular people. Everybody has the ability. Bro, we're in a business where everybody needs a house. And everybody that buys a house needs a mortgage. And you guys are here to do it. Collaborate as much as possible. Collaboration is king. I come up with like all kinds of ways to do like collaborative videos with people. And there's a couple things that I'm going to drop on you guys. Think about ways that you can do collaborative videos with realtors or people that can bring you business. Everybody wants to do videos and shit if they're not petrified. Nobody has Levy. It's that simple. It's a very big resource. It is not cheap to have Levy. Use it. Take advantage of it. I don't care that you're nervous, right? Suck it up. Make a freaking video. Nobody cares, right? We're all going to be dead soon. Seriously, when you think about that, when you're 89 years old, you're like, fuck, I should have made those podcasts. I could have done a ton of freaking business. My life would have been totally different. It's really true. Was there ever a girl that you wanted to talk to and you never did and you still regret it to this day? Oh, yeah. Fuck, you don't want to be that guy. No, you don't.
That's old me. No.
You don't want to be that guy. Same thing. Just do it. Make the content. Nobody cares. I don't watch any of my shit. Listen, some guy came up to me the other day when I was doing that whole thing when I was walking around in high heels. You guys see that?
Yeah.
Fuck. Those things hurt. Respect. Respect. Man, that shit hurts. And the guy's like, yo, you're into weed? I'm like, no, I've actually never smoked weed in my whole life. He goes, you look stoned all the time. I'm like, yeah, you're right. I don't care. I don't fucking care. Just call me when you have a house that stinks like cat piss. That's it. It's that simple. Forget about what you look like. It doesn't matter. Your boyfriend or girlfriend still loves you. Your mother loves you. Somebody will love you one day. Listen, guys, if you have enough money, everyone's going to love you. It doesn't matter, right? Just do it. So collaborate as much as possible with these people. Do different videos. It could be anything. Miss Lindenhurst, call her up and say, hey, you know what? Let's go shoot an episode about Lindenhurst. I used to do this thing with realtors. I told every realtor, I'm like, do a thing called My Downtown. Go and shoot not a documentary, but a little episode, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 7 minutes, whatever it is, and talk about what goes on in your town, in Patchogue. Nobody would do it. So then I started doing fuck it. I'm going to make a video. I'm going to do a video series called My Downtown. And I would get Stephen King. Everybody know who Stephen King is? There's a reason. He does a really good job. Stephen King, we're walking down the street in Patchogue. Tell me about Patchogue. What's your favorite place? If we're on a hot date, where are you taking her? If you want to go for brunch on a Sunday, where are you going? What are the hot spots? Tell me about the market. Who lives here, right? Giving a tremendous amount of value to this guy, to Patchogue, to yourselves, your position next to the number one person in that town. Come up with creative ways like this to collaborate with realtors and people are going to send you business. We already did weave your way into people's life in a non-creepy way. Very important. Email blast, right? Email is good in a combination with things. So everybody have some kind of auto-generated email blasting software or something, right? You guys have it, I'm sure. When you go to these events and you meet people and you get their card, you go to social media, friend request them, non-creepy, right? Then put their information in there, and once a month, send out an email blast, not with flowers or some bullshit. Put some thought into it and say, oh, new restaurant, this is what's going on. Listen, realtors like to drink, they like to party, they like to go out to dinner, right? So once a month, hey, hotspot, went to this restaurant, it was freaking gangster. Oh, this is going on, whatever. Oh, whatever it is, once a month you can come up with some type of email blast that's going to give some kind of value and keep you in front of people. So we used to do that at scale. I have realtors call me up off of that thing. I saw your thing. I've been sending it to them for fucking 2 years. And they finally call me up and they're like, I have a house that I want to sell off market that belongs to a family member, shit like that. All the time. It works. Nothing in itself is the magic bullet that's going to give you a ton of business, but if you do all these things consistently well, you're going to do a lot of business. That's really what it comes down to. CRM follow-up, right? So follow-ups are absolutely key. You have to follow up in this business all the time. I chase people for years sometimes to buy their house. It's what it takes. You have to chase people for years sometimes. It might not be the right time, but when it's the right time, you sure as hell don't want to not be in front of them when you've had a bunch of contact with them. How many people have had contact with somebody, they weren't ready, and then 6 months later, you see they bought a house with somebody else, right? That ever happened? That sucks, right? All the time. No reason for that. If you were constantly talking to that person or updating them or email blasting them on a monthly basis or weaving your way into their life in a non-creepy way via social media or whatever it is, that wouldn't happen. That's what you have to do, all right? I already said open houses every week. All right, here is a very important thing, right? And this is why people love me. Because I create an experience for everybody that I work with. What does that mean? If you're a realtor, realtors, here's a true story. Realtor calls me up, I don't know. He says to me, hey, listen, I have a deal for you in Queens. No one's going to see it. It's just you. I go check it out. He's like, I'm going to get you this for $250,000. I sold that house for $685,000. Right? Fast forward. I'm like, wow, this is awesome. He goes, yeah, listen, I want to be on your podcast. I want to do some video shoots with you. I want to do a before and after shoot of the house, and I want to be seen with you. And you'll get this house for $250,000. Sold. It happened. Right? Everybody, and you know what? I wasn't the catalyst for that, but I was at the beginning, and everybody knows that realtor today. He's got a big team, 10, 15 people. He might send you guys a shitload of business. You might know him.
Works with us.
Works with you guys extensively. So that shit is real.
And it wasn't your dad.
It wasn't my dad. No. Definitely wasn't my dad. That shit is real. If you have a platform and you have the ability to do that for people, they will do crazy shit for you. I did pretty good on that house. But so I create experiences for people. So if you're the average realtor and you bring people, realtors bring me deals, and I never pay the most because I do the right renovation and I don't overpay and all that shit. But people bring me deals because they want to work with me. They want the action, right? They want to have the experience of working with me. What does that experience look like? I have fun with them. I post them all over social media. We make videos. We do podcasts. I do a sick job on the house. Then I have the listing. So when you call me, I buy the house. Easy peasy, no bullshit. I don't fight over stuff. I don't try to chew you down in your commission. When the house is done, I send you an email. The email has professional pictures already taken, videos put together of the pictures. We make content together at the house. I write the description. There's a lockbox on the door. Keys are already in there. You have the code. Everything's ready to go. It's like white glove listing concierge. The email has a list of my entire team on it. They are to reply to that email with any information about offers, repairs, and whoever on my team is responsible for that picks that up. Construction issue, Sandy's on it, right? Legal issue, my attorney's on it. Sal's on every one of those emails. Mortgage issue, Sal's on it. Every single time. It is such a pleasant experience that for the one house that is nasty, that realtor that does 30 deals a year gets a year, do you think they're going to call anybody else? No, they're not. That's the kind of shit that you guys have to do for people. Create an experience for them. Everybody here is in the hospitality industry. It's that simple. Create an experience for people that they're going to want to come back to you because there's a million loan officers. They can bring their business anywhere. Why would they bring it to you is the question. That's what you have to ask yourself. All right? Last thing is, I came up with this thing. I was actually talking to Sal about it the other day. And you guys should do this. So here's the video that every loan officer should make, in my opinion. Every loan officer, actually every realtor, I came up with this idea for my girlfriend again the other day. Every realtor should have this. But so as it pertains to loan officers, would everybody here say that their first-time home buyers think that the mortgage process is nerve-wracking, stressful? Can we all agree with that, right? And there's a lot of we'll also agree that there's a lot of problems that arise because people aren't familiar with the process, right? So what I would do if I was you is I would make a video because who do you guys have that works with you? Levy, right? A well-produced video because that's what Levy does, produces well-produced videos. And basically what it is it's a breakdown of the mortgage process. And you would introduce yourself. Hi, my name is Sal Rizzola. I'm with Cardinal Financial. Buying a house can be stressful. We know it. We're here to take the stress out of it. And what we'd like to do is we'd like to educate you a little bit on the mortgage process from soup to nuts so that you guys have an understanding, regardless if you work with us or another loan officer, about what to expect next. Because buying a new house or your first house, or your second house, or your third house should be a pleasant experience. It's exciting. We want to make sure that it's exciting for you. Sal introduces himself and then breaks down every aspect of the mortgage process. He can also bring in key members of his team to highlight and do their portion of that video. You guys could go out to realtors after you've done the podcast and say, hey, listen, we have Levy, he's great. We have this concept that we're doing where we think every real estate agent should make a well-edited video, produced video, on the buying process. Because every agent should do the same shit. Levy's going to do it for you. We're going to produce it together, absolutely free of charge. We're going to give it to you in a link so that you can put it in your email and send it out to every person that you meet. So imagine for a second, as a loan officer, you meet somebody, hey, we're thinking about buying a house. Oh, listen, you're familiar with the mortgage process. If you ever need me, here's my card. By the way, I put a video in here. Whether you use me or somebody else, it explains the details of the mortgage process so that you understand exactly what's going on and you can pick the right loan officer. So now now they're really happy because they have this thing that educates them. It's shareable. They're going to send it to different people. It has your information on it and you talking. You see how this is going to work? With the realtor thing, it's just another way for you to collaborate with realtors to give them value to ultimately give you business. So you're going to tell the realtor, we're going to do this for you. All I ask, if you don't mind, is that let me do the mortgage piece. So for like the 60 seconds you're talking about mortgages, you're doing it. So now you've imprinted yourself in that video. If they have to hire someone to do it, it's going to cost them $500, $600, $700. They got it for free. You're in the video. They're sharing it. More people see you. You see what I'm talking about here? Like Michelle Keegan does 80-something deals a year by herself. Imagine you got a whale like Michelle Keegan to produce a video like that with you. She does 80 deals a year. That's not the amount of people that she talks to on a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis. Think about how powerful that is. It's expensive for people to create content. Think about that stuff. That's all I got.
Well, no, guys, I think, first of all,